What if I told you that Jinu was supposed to be a demon hunter and the movie made that explicit? K-pop Demon Hunters have pretty of room for theories, so come with me to check them out. 1. Jinu's family destiny. Right at the beginning of the K-pop Demon Hunters, we see a mother trying to protect herself and her daughter from a demon that was about to attack them both. Luckily, a trio of Huntr arrive at time, saving them both and everyone there present from the demons that were haunting the region. Later in the movie, we see that Gino chose to trade his mother and his sister for a life of fortune, and dude, comparing to the character we saw at the beginning of the movie with Gino's family, I'm almost sure they're the same. And dude, if it wasn't for the demon hunters, his sister and his mother would have been eaten a long time ago by Guima. And to make things even worse, he must think that both died because of him. Then actually, they were saved, but without him realizing. Thank God, right? 2. The Saja Boys didn't die, and the proof for that is right in our faces. During the movie, every time some hunter defeats a regular demon, it explodes, like boom, completely disappears. Now, pay attention to what happened at the end of the fight against the Saja Boys. When each one of them is defeated, they don't explode. They just turn into a pink smoke and disappear. Exactly how they did before in the movie, when they went back to the demon world. That means, unlike other demons that were destroyed once and for all, Saja Boys came back to the underworld. Maybe they are really on that evil side. Because if they were truly evil like other monsters, their ending should have been more definitive, right? Maybe their ending is still open for a reason. Maybe they'll come back in a sequel. Leave a like if you'd like to see those boys in a sequel because I'm counting on that. 3. Jinu as a guardian. In Korean legends, there are 4 guardians that are represented in the movie, but they took out the dragon that was supposed to be Jinu, and I can prove it. In the scene where Rumi follows the tiger, they pass through 4 mannequins, wearing 3 female clothes and 1 male cloth. This might not be a coincidence since the camera closes in this part. Guima predicted Jinu's music talents, or his sister's talent, and figured he could become strong enough to stop him and convinced him to become a demon, preventing him from joining the Hunters. That's why Jinu's voice is so powerful. That's why Hanmoon never sealed the demons once and for all. Because that would take 4 hunters, not 3. And this can be introduction for a new sequel. So considering Zoe's addiction to turtles, we can think of Rumi as the white tigress, as we saw her relation with Tiger, her cat PJs, and the stripe she gets. Mira as the red bird, with long red head and an explosive temper. Zoe as the black turtle with her many turtle accessories and clothes, including a turtle pendant that is hanging out of her Norwich. And the 4th guardian, that being Jinu, is the blue dragon. And okay, we don't have a clear reason for that, but as the movie takes a lot of inspiration in Asian comics, this could be a reference to Fushigi Yuki and Yu Yu Yachico's dragons. Besides the Korean legend itself, there are people who suggest that he's the bird by symbolizing rebirth, which also makes sense. What do you think? 4. The Saja Boys were once a human boy band. This one everyone's talking about. When Rumi visits this weird doctor against her will, she notices some pictures on the wall. 4 boys with short dark hair posing for a picture together with the doctor. Sure that the doctor could have been just photoshopped him in the frame with the boys, but that's not what I'm trying to show you. Notice how this movie makes sure to focus on this picture of the 4 unknown boys, and by Rumi's reaction, well, we know that these are the Saja Boys, right? And dude, do you know what I'm thinking right now? What if the Saja Boys were once humans like Jinu? The idea doesn't seem too absurd like that, right? So much that in the movie we saw that normal human beings like Jinu can become demons by taking a deal with Guima. And while he promises everything to his victims, he gets their souls in exchange. Then the Saja Boys could have done a deal with Guima to exchange for success, fame, and health. But in the end, the king of the demons stole their souls, turning them into demons with no free will. Like the video if you think that this makes sense, okay? 5. Rumi is related to Guima. There's a theory going around among the fans of K-pop Demon Hunters that Guima is Rumi's father. The idea is that at some point in the past, he assumed a human shape and blend among the Solar Hunters, with the goal of destabilizing the group. Then, during the process, he fell in love with Rumi's mother and, well, you can imagine the rest. These explain the immense power she has and would also explain the reason that why she doesn't hear Guima's voice, since they share the same DNA. But hold on, there are some holes in this theory. In the movie, we know that Rumi's mother died when she was still a baby. If Guima was really her father, would he simply disappear after that? It doesn't make sense that he was not present during that moment, or at least kept an eye on his daughter, even more because she's half demon. Besides that, there's a deleted scene that shows that Celine was the one responsible for Rumi's parents' deaths, which reinforces the idea that Guima didn't even know her existence. Then there's a new theory that honestly makes a lot of sense, and no one is talking about it. What if Guima is actually Rumi's granddad? Think about it. Rumi's father could have been Guima's son, actually one of the first demons created by him, sent to the human world as some part of an evil plan to finish the Solar Hunters. But in the middle of that, he fell in love with Rumi's mother. For real. He wasn't pretending to, it wasn't a strategy. They married and had Rumi, but Guima never heard of that until Celine find out. And if we gather everything the movie shows us, it seems like it was her who confronted the couple and killed them both. Maybe she found out that her friend had a child with a demon and saw that as betrayal. Or maybe she was stuck by fear of her daughter inheriting demon powers, which clearly happened. This explains a lot. Rumi's absurd power, her father's absence, and Guima not showing any interest for her until the end of the movie, because he simply didn't know that she was her descendant. If that's confirmed in a future sequel, we might have one of the biggest plot twists in history. The villain finding out he has a granddaughter, and she's the only one who can defeat him. So, which of the two theories makes sense for you? Guima is Rumi's father or grandfather? Comment down below, this will create a heated debate in the comments. Number 6. Jinu's sister became a hunter. I know that this idea seems so out of the blue, but think about it. What if his sister was so charmed by the hunters that she decided to dedicate herself to that life? Something that is really common for a kid, mostly when it's about one that almost died for a monster like that. In order for you to get a better picture, in the anime Boku no Hero, the protagonist Deku wants to become a hero so bad because he admires heroes so much, mostly All Might, who was his favorite hero. So imagine that maybe Jinu's sister wished to become a demon hunter because she admires those women that saved her and her mother so much, but mostly because she wanted to protect her mother from all evil. This way, the girl would make sure her family never suffers the same evil she suffered when she was a kid, of being almost killed by a demon. Now tell me, does this theory make sense or am I being too sentimentalist? 7. How was the Hanmoon created? This theory is from Reddit, okay? When Rumi finds Celine at the end of the movie, she insists that the hunters, and maybe regulars too, should hide their shames and fears to protect the Hanmoon. Between that and Jinu admitting that all the demons feel this regret and shame, I believe that the original Hanmoon was established with emotions and a predominant vibe of wanting to hide fear and shame. This would block people from turning into demons, not allowing these emotions to surface and be used by Guima. This gives more depth to Rumi's decision to break it and establish a new Hanmoon. Now she gets that the current Hanmoon will not create a world that accepts it, so she creates one based in being honest with yourself and not hiding from world. This also explains the creation of more demons, because people wouldn't feel so ashamed or guilty of who they are. Hasta la vista!